Hey everybody, glad to be here. So yeah, I've been jumping into a bunch of stuff today, doing music of 1971, jumping into some King Crimson, jumping into some Thin Lizzy review on some of their albums. So anyway, I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, and among the sort of deep dives into 1971 genres and a lot of background information, I'm going to sprinkle in some of these, which are some more archival, some off the studio, either live archives, things like that for some artists, and then just sort of get some of the stuff is brand new, haven't heard it, and just want to get like a first take. I'm not going to go into a ton of information as far as the context of the album and stuff like that, but just put it out there and sort of get the musicians. So I'm going to do that today, and a little later on, I'm going to I have a friend coming by, a piano teacher and voice teacher, and he's from Brazil, and I'm not sure, I don't think he's heard too much Joni Mitchell. So I'm going to do a little follow-up segment to this one where I pick a few Joni Mitchell tunes and sort of introduce them. He's really better than me at sort of identifying, the more the theoretical side of the music, the keys and the transitions and all that stuff. So I'm really interested for him to hear Joni Mitchell's voice and also obviously her lyrical abilities and the compositional abilities. So with that one, I'll probably put up the lyrics so that everybody can see them. But with this one, we're just going to kind of focus on some of these, more of like a little exploration into these tunes. So I just got the archives. So I got the archives volume 3 for Joni. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go in and do basically a demo version and then an alternate take version of one of her songs off of Hissing of the Summer Lawns. So they have some great demos on there, and I'm just jumping into this because I feel like I know I like her earlier albums too. They have some archives for earlier albums, but I feel like I've kind of listened to her long enough where I start to really go towards the later stuff, with this one, and then also the one with Jaco Pastorius, Junta. I can't remember the name of it. I'm getting old, folks, but you know what I'm talking about. So these really start to speak to me. Her ability for composition and her changes and everything start to really develop in different directions. I mean, she's always been developing, so this is just another stepping stone, as far as I'm concerned. But I feel like it is a high point for her. So so we're going to listen to the demo of the Boho dance, and then we're going to listen to an alternate version of the Boho dance. And all I'm going to do is just say who was on this album. So on this particular track, it was Joni Mitchell on keyboards, and then on this particular one we had John Guerin on drums, and we had Max Bennett on bass guitar, Chuck Findlay on flugelhorn, and Bud Shank on bass flute. And I believe that's it. So it was Joni Mitchell, Max Bennett, John Guerin, and Chuck Findlay and Bud Shank on the alternate version. On the demo, I believe it's just her on actual guitar. And there's acoustic guitar actually on the alternate version as well. So she's on piano, keyboard, and guitar. So let's listen to the demo for Boho Dance. And let's get this started. I'm ready. I haven't listened to any Joni Mitchell on this channel yet, so great.
Down in the cellar in the Boho zone, I was looking for some sweet inspiration. Oh well, just another hard time band with Negro affectations. I was a hopeful in rooms like this when I was working cheap. It's an old romance, the Boho dance. It hasn't gone to sleep, but even on the scuffle, the cleaning press was in my jeans, and any eye for detail caught a little lace along the seams. subterranean by your own design. The virtue of your style inscribed on your contempt for mine. Jesus was a beggar, rich in grace, and Solomon kept his head in all his glory. It's just that some steps outside the boho dance have a fascination for me. A camera pens the cocktail hour behind a blind of parted palms. A lady in a Paris dress with runs in her nylons. You read those books where luxury comes like a guest to take a slave, where artists in noble poverty go like virgins to the grave. But don't get sensitive on me, I can tell you're just too proud. You couldn't step outside the boho dance now, even if good fortune allowed. Like a priest with a pornographic watch, looking and longing on the slide. Sure, it's stricken from your uniform, but you can't strike it out of your eyes. Nothing is capsulized in me on either side of town. The streets were never really mine. Now what mine is glamour gowns.
Always going someplace unexpected. Yeah, that last chord, I feel like she just went to a totally different key. So yeah, there was keyboard. There was some, I don't know if that was guitar on there. It was very subtle guitar. So I'm not sure who that was. So on the rest of the album, it was either Larry Carlton or Robin Ford or Jeff Baxter on guitar. I think even James Taylor was on one guitar on one track. So yeah, it might have been one of those three, Larry Carlton or Robin Ford or Jeff Baxter. Who was it? Larry Carlton or Robin Ford? I haven't heard Robin Ford too much, so I'm not sure if it sounded more like. But anyway, yeah, beautiful. That's beautiful demo. Yeah, it's cool to hear her just make some changes in either the chords or phrasing. Yeah, and how it develops. So, but yeah, that's one of my favorites on this album for sure. But yeah, let's go into an alternate version of that, obviously with the horns and the bass and the drums. And so yeah, again, this is Boho Dance, which I believe came out in 1975, November of 1975, after Court and Spark. Yeah, so, and then let me see what came after. So it was, Court and Spark, and then this, and then the Jaco Pastorius, which is, I'm going to get the name of it. Sorry, I got to go look it up. Court and Spark, Hissing of the Summer Lawns, and Hejira. Okay, yeah. So yeah, and I've gone through. I love her first album. Clouds is like kind of hit and miss. Ladies of the Canyon, strong. Blue is strong. For the Roses is like very special. Court and Spark was great. Hissing of the Summer Lawns is a totally new, a little bit more jazzy and away from her guitar, a little bit more keyboard oriented. And then Hejira, and that's pretty much my pinnacle right there. These last up to the first 68 to 70, 76 for her. But I do like a handful of songs on her later period. So, but anyway, yeah, let's get into the Boho dance again. Alternate version with the full band, and here we go.
Down in the cellar in the Boho zone, I went looking for some sweet inspiration. Oh well, just another hard time band with Negro affectations. I was a hopeful in rooms like this when I was working cheap. It's an old romance, the Boho dance. It hasn't gone to sleep. But even on the scuffle, the cleaner's press was in my jeans. And any eye for detail caught a little lace along the seams. Subterranean by your own design, the virtue of your style inscribed on your contempt for mine. Jesus was a beggar, he was rich in grace, and Solomon kept his head in all his glory. It's just that some steps outside the Boho dance have a fascination for me. Pins the cocktail hour behind a blind of parted palms, and finds a lady in a Paris dress with runs in her nylons. Books where luxury comes as a guest to take a slave. Books where artists in over poverty go like virgins to the grave. Don't get so sensitive on me, I know you're just too proud. You couldn't step outside the Boho dance now, fortune allowed. Like a priest with a pornographic watch, looking and longing on the slide. Sure, it's stricken from your uniform, but you can't get it out of your eyes. Nothing is capsulized in me on either side of town. Streets were never really mine, not mine, these glamour gowns.
Really cool. Yeah, there's a lot of differences in there. It definitely feels like a nice interpretation. It had some acoustic guitar in there. Yeah, it feels like there's enough to warrant listening to this one versus the original. You know, there's some interesting. Yeah, I like the guitar, acoustic guitar added to it. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting. You know, it could have just been easily been the one on the album to me. So I'm not sure what they. I have to go listen to the original again, but anyway, yeah. This one, just to give a tiny bit more information, the Boho dance apparently it says it comments on people who feel that artists betray their artistic integrity for commercial success, with an ironic glance at those who said this of Mitchell herself, and parallels Tom Wolfe's The Painted World. So, yeah, I'm not sure at what point Mitchell would have been accused of commercial success necessarily. Maybe Court and Spark. I don't know. I mean, her music kind of, I think people going from different music too can feel like you're changing it commercially for your music. But, lyrically, yeah, I don't know where she really made it more. She definitely had some that were kind of lighthearted that became hits, on a radio or, stuff that was a little bit more just radio friendly, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I think there are certainly artists that crave that commercial success and strive after it, and climb a ladder until they can get that, and others who there's always a pressure, and not even just from them themselves, from outside there. I'm sure she had hundreds of people all trying to pressure her to make more commercial music. So it is a thing, and I think she was fighting that for a long time. With before the Roses, I think, where she almost was deciding whether she even wanted to stay in the music business or not, and created that album in that sort of isolationist attitude, trying to figure out what was next. So it's I think she plays it fairly, where she can, whatever she does, it always feels like there is integrity there. So I don't think she's never, for me, I don't see anything there where I feel like she's sort of supplanted her integrity or her artistic vision for that. But yeah, so interesting though. Yeah, ultimately, she's just a force. Lyrically, vocally, musician, and the music, the composition, the fact that she, when she plays guitar or keyboard, she pretty much, uses a very individual and specific tuning for guitars, dependent on, the mood she's in, and it's just a very organic experience. And she, I feel like she uses her painting to sort of bounce back and forth and not get burnt out on one thing over. She can kind of jump back and forth to sort of remain fresh. So anyway, yeah, I really wanted to get into some of these archives and some of these lesser known tracks, whether it's live, whether it's archives, whether it's alternate takes or anything like that, or demos. So I'm not gonna just do run through albums like a jukebox. It's just, there's plenty of stuff where you can do that, and the stuff's out there. And I'm not fresh to it. I've already heard a lot of stuff, and I'm still trying to listen to stuff that I haven't heard. But for some artists, it's just going to have to dig a little deeper than others, to have like a fresh experience and to find it for the first time. There's still plenty of stuff out there, and I'm trying to give like a nice 50-50 mix of new for me as much as it's maybe new for the audience too. So there's room for everybody to sort of get inspired by new stuff, whether it's new or old. Anyway, appreciate it. Yeah, so I'm running through a bunch of these, and I'm gonna continue on with trying to find, if you have any other tunes or some stuff from Joni Mitchell, I would definitely love to do. I would even potentially do a full album listen, just because I think, she's just, her albums are entirely listenable, and they're very strong, and each one kind of has a story of its own. So Joni Mitchell, I don't know. Yeah, for me, she's for what she does to me. She could easily be just like Bob Dylan, be considered the win a Nobel Prize for literature, poetry, whatever you wanted to call it. I have to put her just pretty much up there, even though I don't think she's she can't, no one can be around that long and you like everything they do, where it's just so special. But just her voice, her composition, her lyrical, just that alone for me just puts her pretty much at the top of the game, above. I'm saying at the top. She's at the top. I can't think of anybody else even Dylan. Dylan's fantastic. He has a way of turning a phrase, and but she does, she does it in a way that, and she speaks it in a way that makes it so unique, and it's so, it's so poignant. So I don't know. I don't have to put them in any order or anything like that, but I just saying I can't think of anybody that's more profound and more nuanced and more skilled at writing and composition than Joni Mitchell. So anyway, it means a lot to me. But yeah, I'd love to get into some more stuff. So upcoming. Upcoming actually. So I have, as I said, I have a friend. I'm going to do some Joni Mitchell. I'm going to pick out maybe 2 or 3 tracks from her periods or different periods. Try to find some, and because I think he hasn't been introduced to her, so I'm really excited. He's understands voice very well. He also plays piano. He understands the theory, and I feel like he's going to really. I'm really interested in what he's going to say about her technique and her the composition choices and things like that. So anyway, that's coming up. I'm going to do that. But yeah, these are all going to drop in the next couple weeks. So anyway, I appreciate. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. And please feel free to write anything, recommend anything. I'm an open book, so I try to communicate with everybody that communicates with me, whether it's on the community post where I want you to put out what's the best album you can think of to 1971, do a full album listen, or just go in the comments and just tell me your thoughts there. So I will get back to you. All right, have a great night, and I appreciate you being here so much. This is my enjoyment for the day, very joyful. So take care. Bye bye.